for the very first time, actually live from my apartment. Today, tonight, tomorrow, wherever you are, I present the 4th annual Under the Scope Anime Awards, Best and Worst of 2018. Wow, what a year it was. I've been following anime seasonally since the faraway days of 2015, and I can comfortably say this was the best year yet. You couldn't count on much in 2018, well, much positive anyway, but at least anime did not disappoint. For our purposes, better shows means more hardware to hand out. Over 60 awards across more than 50 nominated works and 32 different winners to be exact. That's right, this year's show is bigger, gayer, and, banana-nicer. But I'll spare you my woefully unfunny comedy routine and get straight to the point. For those of you new to this or in need of a refresher, here's how it works. Awards will be handed out across 5 categories: music, characters, production, miscellaneous, and genres. Along the way, I'll select my 4 anime of the season, with each of these moving on to the final and most coveted prize, the Anime of the Year award. What are they fighting for? It began with a simple idea, the Golden Saber, and has continued to evolve ever since, from platinum to crystal. This year, we're shaking it up again, with a completely new and original design by artist Diana Mercolini. It's my honor to reveal the Violet Saber. Enormous thank you to Diana for this incredible piece. I could not be happier with it. Please check out the rest of her portfolio on Twitter at Dia_XYZ. She's seriously one of the most talented artists out there. I'll put links in the description. Rules for eligibility are simple. A work had to air in 2018, this includes 2017 leftovers, and I or my editor Mr. Nice Guy had to watch at least some of it. Thankfully, you're in luck, because I spent the last month holed up in a bunker strapped to a chair catching up on what I missed. Also known as everything. Of course, some works still slip through the cracks, so if you don't see your favorite represented, please bear with us. Here, you can even take this handy cutout and make your own award. Hell, send it over with the hashtag UTS Awards. We also decided to institute a new rule this year, stipulating any series that's won an award twice in previous editions is no longer eligible for that same award again. With My Hero Academia seemingly continuing ad infinitum and Sangatsu no Lion back for a 3rd straight year, I want to get some variety in there. Note, they will still be eligible in categories they haven't already won. Lastly, I try to keep films and TV series separate, so they'll generally have their own category. Admittedly, I kinda cheated a bit there, but when it comes to Anime of the Year, we're only looking at series. With all that bookkeeping out of the way, let's hand out some awards.
Music. Come on.
As usual, we lead off with my personal favorite category, music. Frankly, 2018 was a banner year in the sound department, with a number of my favorite composers and a few new faces as well penning stellar soundtracks. That said, there weren't a ton of openings that grabbed me. While I enjoyed quite a few of the songs, OPs are more than just their music. You also have to look at the visuals behind them and how the two work together. With that in mind, here are the nominees for Best OP. Shiny Days by Asaka Yuru Camp. The Girls Are Alright by Saya, A Place Further Than the Universe. Atabana Necromancy by Saga, Zombie Land Saga. Pop Team Epic by Sumide Uesaka, Pop Team Epic. Union by OXT, ssss.gridman. Found and Lost by Survive Said the Prophet, Banana Fish. Kimi ni Furete by Riko Azuna, Bloom Into You. Hoshi no Dialogue by Starlight Kukugumi, Shoujo Kageki Review Starlight. And the first Violet Saber goes to The Girls Are Alright by Saya, A Place Further Than the Universe. This energetic, upbeat song makes a perfect fit for Yorimoi's sense of adventure. The sequence uses dull shots of the girls' normal lives passing by through the first half, making fun use of the camera too with the girls drawing on screen. As it builds to the chorus, we cut to their journey to Antarctica, taking on a decidedly livelier tone. Both thematically relevant and fun as hell, Yorimoi's OP earns the first award with gusto. Perhaps surprisingly given how often they're overlooked, I actually think 2018 had a stronger crop of endings than openings, with a number of sequences I couldn't skip. The nominees for Best ED are Michi Shirube by Minori Chihara, Violet Evergarden. Refrain by Emer, After the Rain. Fly Me to the Star by Starlight Kukugumi, Shoujo Kageki Revue Starlight. Hugto Yell for You by The Pretty Cure, Hugto Precure. Hecto Pascal by Yuki Takada and Minako Kotobuki, Bloom Into You. Le Temps de la Rentrée by Deepai, Hisone, and Masotan. I Am Standing by Ruan, March Comes In Like a Lion Season 2. Prayer Cross by King Nu, Banana Fish. And the winner is Le Temps de la Rentrée by Deepai, Hisone, and Masotan. Apologies for the pronunciation. While Refrain is probably my favorite song of the bunch, and I can't ignore the incredible visuals of Haruka Fujita's sequence for Evergarden, I had to go with this cover of an obscure 70s French song by France Gall. Simply put, this is a bop. Maybe the catchiest ED since 2016's Flip Flappers. Matched to the wacky dance moves of its main cast that somehow captures each of their personalities, Hisomaso's ED is one of my favorites, period. Our next award takes us to the most criminally underused aspect of anime music. Usually I struggle to find enough great insert songs to fill this award, but here I actually had the opposite problem. The nominees for Best Insert Song are Devilman no Uta by Agraf, Kensuke Ushio, Devilman Crybaby. Yume no Hiro by OXT, ssss.gridman. Sora wo Miyagete by Saya, A Place Further Than the Universe. Rise by Riko Azuna, Bloom Into You. Violet Snow by Ida Yuki, Violet Evergarden. All of Revue Starlight by Starlight Kukugumi, Shoujo Kageki Revue Starlight. And the Violet Saber goes to all of Revue Starlight. Look, the show is centered around musical theater. There's at least a half dozen songs here that could have won this on their own, but why award them individually when I can just give it to the lot of them? Though if I had to choose, I'd take Recreate and The Star Knows. Lending the series its most bombastic moments and lasting images, I'd argue Revue Starlight makes better use of insert songs than any anime I've seen to date, harkening back to their boom in the 80s, and thus my easiest decision of the awards. But these weren't the only insert songs 2018 had to offer. Here are the nominees for Best Rap. Megalobox. Devilman Crybaby.
金もない学もない先行きすら真っ暗いこの街に生まれ落ちた時点で未来なんてない光はあるのかそりゃどこかにはあるかもでも未だ迷子迷路どの道を行けど曲がり角 Zombie Land Saga. And the winner is the Butterfly Rap, Devilman Crybaby. As badly as I wanted to give this to the Zombie Girls of Francho Cho, Nice tells me this award has to go to Devilman for its powerful lyric and flow. If you listen to it, I suppose I agree. Always one of the more challenging awards given the sheer scope of it, combing through every OST for that one special track just isn't feasible. Nevertheless, I knew all along what my winner for this next award would be. The nominees for Best Single Track are Katsuki and Izuku by Yuki Hayashi, My Hero Academia Season 3. Miki the Witch by Kensuke Ushio, Devilman Crybaby. Megalobox by Mabanua, Megalobox. Tomahawk by Rasmus Faber, Harukana Receive. Let's Go Camping by Akiyuki Tateyama, Yuru Camp. Liz and the Bluebird by Akito Matsuda, Liz and the Bluebird. Bon Voyage by Yoshiaki Fujisawa, A Place Further Than the Universe. And the winner is Liz and the Bluebird by Akito Matsuda. Didn't even go 5 awards without breaking my own rule. I simply couldn't ignore Matsuda's incredible contribution to the film. This 24-minute, 4-movement composition for concert band. A story all to its own, Liz and the Bluebird runs through each act of its fairy tale, from the bombastic opening to its powerful, bittersweet finish as Liz sets the bird free. The heart of the piece is the extensive oboe and flute duet in the 3rd movement, echoing the conflict between its players, Nozomi and Mizore, and producing the film's emotional high point. The composer for the Sound Euphonium TV series, Matsuda only provided the concert band pieces for Liz. Instead, that role went to the winner of our next award. The Violet Saber for Best Composer goes to Kensuke Ushio for his work on Devilman Crybaby and Liz and the Bluebird. Ushio's OSTs all have a distinct sound to them you won't find from anyone else in the industry. But as energized as his soundtrack for Devilman is, the real reason Ushio earns this award is for his work on Liz. A stunning cacophony of diegetic and non-diegetic sound, his work lends Liz a rhythm, creating this interplay between the sounds of the characters, the space they inhabit, and the way they move through it. It's a truly audio-visual experience. In Liz and the Bluebird, Ushio's experimentation pays off. Not only the most remarkable soundtrack of the year, but among its best albums, period. That said, I've cheated enough as is. Shifting focus back to TV anime soundtracks, 2018 was a standout. The final award of the music section, here are the nominees for Best Original Soundtrack. Violet Evergarden by Evan Call. Hisone and Masotan by Taisei Iwasaki. Devilman Crybaby by Kensuke Ushio. Megalobox by Mama Nua. Shoujo Kageki Revue Starlight by Yoshiaki Fujisawa and Tatsuya Kato. Bloom Into You by Michiru Oshima. And the winner is Violet Evergarden by Evan Call. It's safe to say Evergarden wouldn't be anywhere near as affecting without Call's music to breathe life into its world. As flowery as this may sound, it really injected the series with this magical feeling I fell in love with. With so many varied tracks to choose from, I love the way Call incorporates the sounds of a typewriter into a number of the pieces. Matching the high emotion of the series' narrative beat for beat, Violet Evergarden's soundtrack became an instant favorite, and my highlight of 2018. Anime in 2018 hit the ground running, delivering my favorite season of the year in its first. Winter wasted no time getting to the good stuff with the drop of Devilman Crybaby in its first week. Yes, that was 2018. From there to one of the year's most hyped series and numerous surprise hits, it never looked back. Each of my 5 selections here finished in my top 10 for the year, but only one can move on to the top prize. The nominees for Anime of the Winter season are A Place Further Than the Universe, Madhouse; Violet Evergarden, Kyoto Animation; Yurdu Camp, Sea Station; Hugto Precure, Toei Animation; Devilman Crybaby, Science Sardu. And the series moving on to Anime of the Year is Violet Evergarden, Kyoto Animation. Without a doubt my most difficult decision of all 4 seasons, I spent the better part of the year waffling between Evergarden and Yorimoi. While I can't deny the incredible character writing of the latter, ultimately I chose Evergarden because no series left a bigger emotional impact on me than it. A stunning production from top to bottom, the staff at KyoAni perfected this aesthetic here, managing to balance its melodrama with verisimilitude in its raw emotion. Imperfect, but no less impactful, Violet Evergarden lived up to my hype whether it did anyone else's. A powerful standout in a year full of them. Our next section brings us to the greatest characters 2018 had to offer. These are the faces who breathed life into their shows, whether they were alive themselves or not. Leading off with the lead, here are the 8 nominees for Best Main Character. Retsuko, Agretsuko; Kaoruko Moeta, Comic Girls; Shima Rin, Yurdu Camp; Tachibana Akira, After the Rain; Joe, Megalobox; Violet, Violet Evergarden. Hisone Amakasu, Hisone and Masotan. Koito Yu, Bloom Into You. And the Violet Saber goes to Retsuko, Agretsuko. You may be the character I personally connected to the most, but she'll have her time in the spotlight shortly. Retsuko is my spirit animal. As a fresh out of college office worker myself, her daily toils were the definition of big mood for me. Struggling to wade through young adult life, in need of a healthy outlet to release her bottled stress, Retsuko is such a delightfully fun character. Damn Sanrio and their ability to churn out these lovable mascots. But it takes more than just a lead to fill out a cast. The nominees for Best Side Character are Anzu, Hinamatsuri. Hirata Akihito, Run with the Wind. Bakugo, My Hero Academia Season 3. Hoshikawa Lily, Zombie Land Saga. Hoshimi Juna, Shoujo Kageki Revue Starlight. Historia, Attack on Titan Season 3. Futaba Ryo, Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. P-chan, Sword Art Online Alternative Gun Gale Online. And the winner is Historia, Attack on Titan Season 3. No character has come further than Historia over the course of Attack on Titan's 50 episodes. Her arc might be the highlight of the show for me. From the timid, dependent girl relying on others to protect her, to a strong-willed, tenacious leader, Historia has blossomed into one of the strongest voices in a series full of them. Not to mention, unafraid to slap Eren around when he needs it. She's my queen, and I would die for her. That's really all it takes. Moving on to the smallest among us, the award for Best Child Character goes to the devilish trio of Colors from Mitsuboshi Colors. Reminding me of both what I love and hate about kids, Colors toes the fine line between obnoxious snot-nosed brats and charming snot-nosed brats. They are kids say the darndest things personified. Together, Kotoha, Sachan, and Yui make Mitsuboshi Colors one of my hidden gems of the year. In a crowded field, the Violet Saber for Best Gelatinous Cube goes to Rimuru Tempest, From That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. An interesting twist on isekai, slime works in large part thanks to its charismatic, formless ball of ooze. In a genre plagued by abusive shitbag protagonists, ironically, Rimuru is the least slimy of them all. A fun character to carry this unique series. Next up, the award for Best Antagonist goes to Shinjo Akane, ssss.gridman. This may not be the image that comes to mind when you hear villain, but Akane's the definition of more than meets the eye. The true nature of her character only takes on added intrigue the more we learn, right up to the surprise twist in the series' final seconds. One of the more emotionally complex characters of the year, Akane's emptiness drives Gridman's narrative. She isn't a villain the heroes must defeat, but the one they need to save. Without a doubt, making her 2018's most unique antagonist. But not all characters were made great. Yes, the nominees for Worst Character are... You know what? Fuck it. Let's just give it to Mineta again. This Fruit of the Loom Captain Underpants motherfucker still isn't worth the grapes on his head, and until somebody sends him back to his home planet, I'll just keep giving him this prestigious award. Next. Always one of the year's most contentious prizes, this is sure to spark some heated debate. The winner of Best Girl is none other than Takadata Rika, ssss.gridman. Honestly, all I knew about Gridman going in was the tokusatsu and all that fan art of Rika's thighs. No one told me that she's the most aesthetic TM character I'm ever likely to see. Helped along by the natural performance of VA Miyamoto Yume, Rika helps form the soul of the series. If Best Girl is judged by whether I make a designated folder on my computer for all the screen caps, this one was a landslide. But here at Under the Scope, we do not discriminate between the living and the not. The award for Best Zombie Girl goes to Nikaido Saki. As much as I love Lily and the legendary Yamada Te, nobody stands up to my angry biker girl Saki. Not one to suffer fools lightly, she has no respect for anyone who ain't got guts. I don't know how the anatomy works here. I think they still technically have guts. Don't question it. Equally important is the race for Best Boy, and this year's winner goes to Okamura Eiji, Banana Fish. You ever have that character you just want to love and protect? That's Eiji. Very aesthetic, much like Rika, the anime interprets his character a little differently than the manga, but I feel the cuter version works well here too. Ash and Eiji's relationship was one of the year's best and honestly made the series for me. Their fight for freedom, to escape their hellish situation, made Banana Fish come together. I just want the best for the cinnamon roll, damn it! Let Eiji be happy! Continuing on, the Best OTP award goes to Claudine and Maya from Shoujo Kageki Revue Starlight. Sorry, Futakao, you may be the best married couple, but I gotta give this to Kuromaya. I'm a sucker for characters who bring out the best in both, inspire the other to be special. Claudine and Maya push each other to reach higher. Claudine wanting to catch Maya, and Maya making sure she keeps up the chase. Claudine is the one Maya sees as her equal, if not in terms of performance, then as a competitor. Their respect for one another as stage girls is beautiful to watch. That said, Kuromaya isn't the only review ship I need to highlight here. Yes, the award for Best OT3 goes to Karen, Hikari, and Mahiru. What started off as a contentious love triangle quickly morphed into mom, Mahiru, taking care of her two dumb kids, Hikari and Karen. Truly blessed. But as strong as the review ships are, none of them quite topped my pick for the year's best relationship. That award goes to Yu and Toko from Bloom Into You. Both characters long for someone who understands them. Toko feels emptiness inside, as she doesn't know who she wants to be, how to define herself. Yu, on the other hand, feels lonely, detached, unable to reconcile her aromantic feelings with those around her. It's in each other's presence they start to find that missing piece. Together they feel whole. Bloom portrays their budding relationship with such delicate care to each of their feelings. I love a show that respects its characters, that doesn't just use them to progress the story. Bloom Into You gets that, making this relationship one of my favorites in anime. Finally, we arrive at the biggest award in the category for characters. A lot of great options this time around, but the nominees for Best Cast are A Place Further Than the Universe, Run with the Wind, Shoujo Kageki Revue Starlight, Bloom Into You, and the Violet Saber goes to A Place Further Than the Universe. Personally, I don't think there's a wrong choice among these four, but ultimately I went with Yorimoy because of the way its characters carry the series in every facet, from their quirky personalities to strong camaraderie. The dynamic that develops between them makes the series as charming as it is. In some way, Yorimoi is a coming-of-age story for each of these 4 girls. Kimari feels a burning desire to make the most of her adolescence, to not let life pass her by. Shirase yearns for closure so she can then move forward. Hinata searches for people who truly appreciate her, and Yuzuki wants to be herself among friends and live on her own terms. Through all their trials, they never let anyone or anything prevent them from taking the leap, turning dreams into reality. They'll always carry this experience as a part of themselves, instilling a newfound appreciation for home as something more internal than external. What makes their adventure special is not this place further than the universe. It's their journey through it, together. With continuations to a number of anime's most well-known properties, spring had the most hype in the build-up of any season this year, already cementing 2018 as a ridiculously strong year for anime before we even hit the halfway point. Ultimately, however, only one of these shows finished in my year-end top 10, but just how high did it go? The nominees for anime of the spring season are Hinamatsuri, Studio Feel; Steins Gate Zero, White Fox; Hisone and Masotan, Bones; Megalobox, TMS Entertainment; Agretsuko, Fanworks. And the Violet Saber goes to Megalobox, TMS Entertainment. A throwback for fans tired of the polished look of most anime in the digital era, Megalobox's grunge aesthetic works with its down-and-dirty underdog story of a no-name boxer challenging the latest and greatest in tech. As the 50th anniversary project for Ashita no Joe, the series has plenty to offer fans of the original work while still carving out its own place in this tried-and-true genre of beating the odds. Look, the formula works for a reason. Complete with a banger soundtrack, no anime got me jazzed up quite like Megalobox. A stylish can't miss for any fan of the average Joe. Next, we go behind the scenes, shining a light on the incredibly talented people who make the anime we love in the production section. As a reminder, I especially want to keep films and TV separate here, but I'll do my best to shed attention to both where they deserve it. First up, the award for Best Animation. The nominees are Violet Evergarden, Kyoto Animation; Devilman Crybaby, Science Saru; Slow Start, Cloverworks; Pop Team Epic, Kamikaze Doga. And the Violet Saber goes to Violet Evergarden, Kyoto Animation. From the release of the first novel commercial back in 2016, expectations were sky high for Evergarden's production, and amazingly, it met every one of them. Akiko Takase's work bringing her detailed character designs to motion while sacrificing as little of the line work as possible was simply extraordinary. In her debut as a chief animation director, no less. Everything from Hiroyuki Takahashi's stunning mechanical animation to the directors and storyboarders in charge of its vignettes makes Evergarden one of the most visually remarkable TV anime ever. Whether you prefer a more frenetic, cartoony style of animation, Evergarden achieves its style with near perfection. I've spent enough time gushing about this production though. 48 minutes to be exact. I could make a case for it in most of this section's awards, but let's shift focus towards the year's other highlights. The award for Best Episode goes to Hugto Precure number 16. Handling both storyboards and animation direction, Kodai Watanabe's work here stands out as some of the best ever produced at Toei and in the Precure franchise. Highly expressive character acting even at a distance, smart shot composition teasing out the emotion of every layout, all culminating in this impeccably choreographed fight sequence.
This episode is a masterclass in visual storytelling. I could spend the rest of this video combing through each of its eye-catching frames. Instead, do yourself a favor and just watch Hugto. Next, the award for Best Director goes to Atsuko Ishizuka, A Place Further Than the Universe. Ishizuka loves to fall back on bombastic characters shouting about their feelings, and Yorimoi's certainly no different. However, she doesn't rely on that to lend them weight, instead building their feelings through careful framing and expression. More than just loud characters, Ishizuka's works tend to boast busy colors as well, occasionally to their detriment. Not so here. Each of Yorimoi's unique settings oozes style while remaining true to life. Yorimoi represents a huge step forward for Ishizuka. I've never been more excited to see what she does next. In an incredibly close call, I nearly went with director Makoto Kato of Bloom Into You here. Instead, we'll give the series this next award. Best Script goes to Juki Hanada, Bloom Into You. Given that Bloom's mangaka Nio Nakatani has said she took inspiration from Kumiko and Reina of Sound Euphonium, it's only fitting UFO's scriptwriter also penned Bloom's anime adaptation. How Hanada communicates the thoughts of its central characters, the push and pull between them, allows their relationships to shine so brightly. It works in bringing their feelings to life in a way that forced me to examine my own, crafting such a beautifully empathetic story. Next, the Violet Saber for Best Character Animation goes to Hisone and Masutan, for its unique aesthetic with a fun level of expressivity I wish we'd see more of. Toshinao Aoki's original character designs sport an interesting flair that's a refreshing step off the beaten path. Brought to life by one of the industry's best, an animation director Yoshiyuki Ito, Hisomaso shows how you can instill personality into a design by having fun with it. Similarly, this next work also offered a different look with its characters. The award for Best Character Designs goes to Futoshi Nishia of Liz and the Bluebird. Nishia takes UFO's pre-established character models in a completely different direction that ultimately played an integral role in making Liz so emotionally raw. The new aesthetic lends a higher degree of malleability to the designs, allowing them to better portray these intimate movements and soft expressions. As much as I love Shoko Ikeda's designs for the TV series, I can't imagine Liz without Nishia's touch here. Much like Ushio, his style works so well with Yamada's. I hope we see more from this trio in the future. Sticking with films, the award for Best Debut goes to Mari Okada for her directorial debut on Makia When the Promised Flower Blooms. Normally I like to reserve this award for a lesser-known name, but Okada's first time in the director's chair was too strong not to recognize. Known for her ability to create emotionally evocative works through her writing, Makia shows why she's one of the most multi-talented individuals in the industry. With its powerful story of parenthood and the love between mother and child, this is Okada's film through and through. And without spoiling anything, a must-see for her impeccable touch. I nearly went with Akiko Takase's debut as chief animation director for Violet Evergarden here, but I promised I wouldn't harp on the series too much. Still, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the beautiful work of art director Mikiko Watanabe, this year's winner of Best Background Art. Building off her stellar work in 2017's Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, Watanabe's painted style does wonders for Evergarden's vibrant, colorful world. From its gorgeous skies to inviting landscapes, I felt enveloped in it. Here, Watanabe has established herself as one of the brightest artists in the industry. In a category so loaded I couldn't make it a direct winner award, the nominees for Best Cinematography are Violet Evergarden, Kyoto Animation, Shoujo Kageki Revue Starlight, Kinema Citrus, ssss.gridman, Trigger. After the Rain, Wit Studio. And the winner is ssss.gridman, Trigger.
Another award I easily could have given to Violet. Gridman takes it instead thanks to its engaging storyboards, smart use of lighting, and all-around striking shot composition. An anime cinematography can't exactly be pinned to one person, as it's more the collective product of all aspects of shot composition coming together, from the layouts to photography, filters, and the composite. With Kai Igarashi's work on episode 9 a notable standout, Gridman's look married that filmic quality with an eye towards thematic relevance. Maybe it doesn't have the beauty of, say, 2017's Land of the Lustrous, but the impact is still there. Next, the Rising Star Award goes to Ayako Kono for her role as assistant director on After the Rain. Without Kono, I think it's safe to say After the Rain wouldn't have worked nearly as well. Its content easily could have stumbled into some problematic territory, but not only did it sidestep those concerns entirely, her touch allowed Akira's story to blossom into a genuine display of feeling with a wonderful aesthetic. Anime doesn't have the best track record with stuff like this, but After the Rain simply nailed it. With this remarkable showing, Kono appears primed to take the next step and helm her own series. I can't wait to see it. The Violet Saber for Best Japanese Voice Acting Performance goes to Mamoru Miyano, the manager Kotaro from Zombie Land Saga, and Okabe Rintaro, Steins Gate Zero. 2018 had a number of stellar, grounded performances, but I had to go with Miyano's extravagance here. Look, when a voice actor embodies a character so much it's literally modeled after them, that should tell you something. His role as the manager of Fran Chu Chu is such a standout, it honestly overshadows the reprisal of one of his most famous roles in Okabe. I almost went with Yuki Takada's performance as Yu in Bloom Into You, but my editor Mr. Nice Guy has me covered there.
I feel like I'll be spending a lot of time with Toko. And she'll be acting like this around me the whole time.
Bye.
Yeah, see you later. After all that, will my feelings towards her stay exactly the same?
The winner of Best English Voice Acting Performance goes to Tia Ballard as Koito Yu from Bloom Into You. Full transparency, Nice is the one out of the two of us who watches dubs, so when I asked him who should win, this is what he had to say. While there were a lot of great dubs this year, particularly Ben Diskin as Haida from Agretsuko and Erica Harlocker as Violet, Tia Ballard captured the hesitation and uncertainty of Yu's character with grace in her delivery. With her performance slowly evolving alongside Yu's arc throughout the series, it's one that deserves high praise. Finally, we reach the highest award in this category, to the work that best exemplified all the principles before this. The Violet Saber for Best Production goes to Liz and the Bluebird, Kyoto Animation. Perhaps a surprise given my professed attachment to Evergarden's production, but Liz was the studio's strongest output in 2018. Its unique blend of visuals and sound make it a musical showcase. The raw, delicate character animation lends it this intimately human feeling. The muted colors of the school, contrasted to the fairy tale's watercolor aesthetic, craft a distinct back and forth. Sure, Evergarden is a feat of TV animation, but the staff of Liz's ability to turn such a simple tale into something no less beautiful earns the strongest praise I can give it. Ah, summer. Must we always do this dance, you and me? No matter how good I've been through the first half of the year at keeping with seasonals consistently, I always seem to lose it in summer. This time, I didn't start following any anime weekly until about 2 months in. In a stalwart year, summer notably came up short. But there was one series that became an instant favorite. Here are the nominees for Anime of the Summer Season. Banana Fish, Mappa. Cells at Work, David Production. Shoujo Kageki Review Starlight, Kinema Citrus. Planet Whip, JC Staff. Attack on Titan Season 3, Wit Studio. And the winner is... Shoujo Kageki Review Starlight, Kinema Citrus. Both inspired by and ultimately a critique on the Japanese all-woman theater troupe Takarazuka Review, Starlight's story of what it means to perform on stage, to be a top star, and the selfishness inherent to that ascent, comes together in a beautiful display of passion, power, and promises. Among the most musically interesting shows I've ever seen, the songs coupled to the incredible staging of the auditions made for some of the year's biggest moments. With its daring, bombastic set pieces and the sheer depth of its cast, Revue Starlight easily could have crumbled under the weight of its ambition. Instead, it's without a doubt one of the year's very best. Anything goes in our next category. Yes, you never know what you're gonna get in the Miscellaneous section, though I'm sure it'll still disappoint. The first award... Actually, I have an announcement. Because Hiro Aka's already won this award each of the past 2 years and is likely to keep winning it for years to come, I'd like to officially commemorate this as the My Hero Academia Memorial Best Fight Award. The first winner of this new prize? Warning, spoilers ahead. Joe vs. Yuri from Megalobox. Megalobox spent its entire run building to this titanic title bout between the champ and the challenger. Yuri's surprise decision to have his integrated gear removed before the fight adds another layer to this climactic showdown. No longer the David vs. Goliath setup, but a battle between two great fighters on even ground. Sure, it doesn't have the insane choreography of some of the year's other great fights, but what it lacks in Sakuga, it more than makes up for in raw emotion. The award for Best Atmosphere goes to After the Rain for living up to its namesake well. After the Rain commits fully to creating this melancholic, beautiful vibe suiting the wistful feelings of its main character. Through its use of lighting and a warm sound, I felt awash in its setting. After the Rain may not go down as one of my favorites of the year, but it's close. A pleasant surprise you'll want to experience for yourself. Speaking of which, the award for biggest surprise goes to Hinamatsuri, the part comedy, part emotional gut punch that came out of nowhere to wedge itself into our hearts and sides. With an odd aesthetic and seemingly nonsensical premise, I wasn't expecting much from this eccentric series. Yeah, that didn't age well. It's rare an anime comedy makes me laugh quite like Hinamatsuri. Episode 6 with Anzu and the Homeless stands out as one of the strongest of any anime this year. Hinamatsuri left me in multiple kinds of tears, from sadness to laughter to joy. If that's not enough to convince you, nothing will. Of course, there is a flip side to the pleasant surprise. My unfortunate winner of the biggest disappointment is Darling in the Franxx. What frustrates me most about Franxx, and what kept me from writing it off for a while, is how many of the pieces of a great show are here, from its powerful soundtrack to strong animation. The staff at A1 Pictures and Trigger exhibited a lot of creative energy here, but simply put, the story fell woefully short. Without even touching on the series' questionable politics, Darlie Frost's narrative doesn't come together in any meaningful way, falling completely flat for me. What a shame. While Darling in the Franxx represents a case of squandered potential, it still had more redeeming qualities than these next works. That's right, it doesn't get lower than this, folks. The nominees for Worst Anime of 2018 are My Sister, My Writer, Conception, Martian Madchen, Uzumade, and the loser is Martian Madchen. Of all the series on my shortlist here, Martian Madchen is the only one with the dubious distinction of being such a dumpster fire it didn't even finish. Its production was that big of a disaster. I can think of no better representative of the worst anime than this steaming pile of shit. The Most Comfy Award, sponsored by the Secret Society Blanket, goes to none other than Yuru Camp. Representing the absolute best of Iyashikei, Yuru Camp strikes a perfect balance between soothing and fun. My childhood is littered with camping horror stories, And yet, even I found myself wanting to pitch a tent in the middle of winter after every episode. Matching the tranquil atmosphere of its beautiful landscapes to the spirited dynamic between its quirky cast, Yurdu Camp is easily one of the year's best shows, and certainly its most comforting. Moving right along, the Violet Saber for most educational goes to Cells at Work. My only problem with Cells at Work is that I didn't have this 2 years ago in university. Certainly my human biochem and cell biology classes would have been a lot more interesting. In all seriousness, this series feels like it was made for me. The comedy works exceptionally well, and it's all surprisingly accurate, right down to the character models. Not to mention the thought of these cute platelets floating through my bloodstream will never stop amusing me. Cells at Work illustrates the fun you can have with education, even with a topic as complex as immunology. Seriously, where was this when I was in school? Next, the award for Best Kids Show goes to Hugto Precure. My introduction to the Precure franchise, Hugto helped open my eyes to what a kids show can be, unafraid to tackle meaningful personal issues, be it Hana's lack of self-confidence and purpose, or Henri's femininity and how he breaks from traditional gender roles. I love that Hugto trusts in its target audience, speaking to them in a way all can appreciate. Embracing the fun of animation, and of course unabashedly cute, Hugto at times displays some of the strongest creative power of any in the industry. Now please, Western companies, license this stuff, cowards! "2018 was a strong year for continuations, reboots, and spin-offs, making my job that much more difficult for this next award. The nominees for Best Sequel are March Comes In Like a Lion Season 2, Studio Shaft. Steins Gate Zero, White Fox. My Hero Academia Season 3, Bones. Sword Art Online Alternative, Gun Gale Online, Studio 3 Hertz. And the Violet Saber goes to March Comes In Like a Lion Season 2, Shaft. I feel I haven't talked about Sangatsu enough in these awards yet. The truth of the matter is, very few series in recent years have managed the dramatic heights of Sangatsu. What makes it special, beyond just Rei's arc or even Hina and the other Kawamoto sisters, is the extraordinary drama it conveys even in these one-off character-focused episodes. At this point, I'm convinced it can tackle just about anything. Sangatsu cuts deep. Its depiction of mental health issues is in no way reserved. That loud presentation may even be a turnoff for some. Nevertheless, I truly believe you're looking at a modern anime great. Because I've already covered it in recent years, I want to spread attention to works I haven't, but please, don't miss out here. Our next award is a very special new entry for this year. 2018 was an incredible year for LGBT+ representation in anime, with any number of remarkable stories, characters, and moments to choose from. As such, I'd like to introduce the honorary 2018 award. There's Lily in Zombie Land Saga, all the wonderful ships from Revue Starlight to Akane and Rika, or the love between Nozomi and Mizore. Ultimately, however, I have to give the honorary 2018 award to Bloom Into You. Frankly, this is among the very best LGBT+ stories anime has to offer. Its depiction of Yu's aromanticism, dismissal of harmful S-class just-a-phase ideology in Sayaka's story, and the comfort a role model who's shared your experience can provide with their bi-teacher Riko and her partner Miyako come together beautifully. Most of all, it portrays its relationships with such genuine care. To put it bluntly, we need more works like Bloom Into You. In that same vein, I'd like to shine a light on a series I haven't mentioned at all yet. The award for Best Moment goes to Kon's Confession from Anime Yell. Coming out scenes are rare enough in anime, or other media, but especially one so gracefully handled. You can really feel the tension build in Kon, the careful attention paid to her body language, the way she grabs her hair and shifts around. The group's overwhelmingly accepting reaction sealed it for me. Sure, there are plenty of bigger moments I could have gone with here, but to see this come from a fairly innocuous cute girls show warmed my heart and deserves recognition. Not to be confused with the earlier award for Best Produced Episode, this next Violet Saber goes to my overall favorite single episode of 2018. The winner of Best Episode is Violet Evergarden number 10. Not since my first watch through of Clannad Afterstory years ago has any one episode left me in a bigger puddle on the floor than Evergarden 10. This vignette represents everything the series does best. Directed and storyboarded by Taichi Ogawa, it's a tour de force from start to finish. I knew the ending was coming the entire time, and it still hit just as hard. Hell, I'm tearing up again just thinking about it. I really don't want to spoil anything. The episode almost works as a standalone story, so even if you haven't seen the series, it might be worth a look. Just be prepared. And bring tissues. Taking it a bit more specific, the award for Best Finale goes to ssss.gridman number 12. Hard to talk about this award without giving anything away, so I'll simply say Gridman's finale is exactly what you want out of it and more. A satisfying climactic fight, confirmation of its greatest ship, and a twist ending I did not see coming at all. Seriously, those last few seconds messed with my mind. I was afraid my lack of knowledge on Gridman and tokusatsu as a whole would leave me out in the cold, and while I'm sure I missed a ton of references, I didn't find the barrier of entry impeding at all. Gridman's final episode turned a really solid series into a favorite of the year. I always love a great anime short. Sometimes the digestible format is exactly what I need when I don't have the time or attention span for a full-length series. With that, the nominees for Best Short of 2018 are Bookseller Honda-san, DLE. Agretsuko, Fanworks. Today's Menu for the Emiya Family, UFO Table. Bang Dream Garupa Pico, Sanzigen and DMM Futureworks. A tough choice, as all four seem worthy of recognition, but the Violet Saber goes to Today's Menu for the Emiya Family, UFO Table. Might this be UFO Table's best animated entry to the Fate universe? Perhaps not, but Fate Cooking proves yet again why these goofy spin-offs are able to work so well. Removing these characters from the uber-serious backdrop of the Holy Grail War allows their eccentric personalities to flourish. Throw in the added luxury of 8 Stay Nights food porn and laid-back vibes, and this year-long short made each new month a little bit brighter. Also, did I mention it's overflowing with good sabers? That may have played into my decision here. The award for Best Commercial goes to this Latte Chocolates ad from Studio Bones, directed by Rie Matsumoto with character designs by Yuki Hayashi and music by Bump of Chicken. The Kyosogiga duo of Matsumoto and Hayashi show you why they're among the best in the industry with this explosion of creative energy. All for a fucking chocolate commercial! Matsumoto, please make another anime. Film, TV series, anything. I love you, and we're dying here. The award for Best OVA goes to Kase-san and Morning Glories. One of my favorite yuri anime, Kase-san is a delightful story of the ups and downs of the relationship between two girls, Kase and Yamada. It really captures the awkward excitement of a new romance. Their insecurities over whether the other feels as strongly as they do are incredibly true to life, be it in their struggle to find the time for each other or their body image. It's about that fleeting feeling of love, and their desire to hold on to it as tightly as they can. Please, give Kase-san a watch if you can. I only wish we could get a full series from it. The last award in the Miscellaneous section takes us to the big screen. Bear in mind, I could only nominate movies I or Nice were able to see here, so with no US release yet, works like Penguin Highway and I Want to Eat Your Pancreas will have to wait till next year. With that, the nominees for Best Film are My Hero Academia 2 Heroes, Bones. Makia, When the Promised Flower Blooms, PA Works. Mirai, Studio Chizu. Liz and the Bluebird, Kyoto Animation. Modest Heroes, Studio Ponok. And the Violet Saber goes to Liz and the Bluebird, Kyoto Animation. Really, did you expect anything else from me? Liz is an intimately private experience. At times, you almost feel like you should look away, but you can't. The respect Yamada has for her characters as people fills them with life in a way I can connect to unlike anything else. I think her strongest work comes out of these simple tales like Tamako Love Story or Liz, where she can really dive into the human experiences of her characters, these feelings you want to capture and bottle before they disappear. A beautiful story of the different shapes love takes, growing together by drifting apart. Liz and the Bluebird is the strongest showcase of Yamada's style yet. My favorite film of 2018 and beyond. Only fitting that 2018 went out with a bang. Despite very little on my radar going in, fall became a season full of surprises, probably the deepest the year had to offer. From zombie idols to a god with a sweater, here are the nominees for anime of the fall season. ssss.gridman, Trigger. Bloom Into You, Troika. Tsudune, Kyoto Animation. Run with the Wind, Production IG. Zombie Land Saga, Mappa. And the Violet Saber and final nomination for Anime of the Year goes to Bloom Into You, Troika. No anime personally resonated with me more this year than Bloom Into You. A heartfelt story of love and understanding between two girls, Yu and Toko. Many of their anxieties remind me of my own. Its exquisite direction captures each character's headspace so naturally, using the camera to best draw the viewer's eye to fill in their emotion. I don't know if I've seen a romance express that budding feeling of love quite so elegantly. Bloom Into You made me want to feel that again. I've already picked up the manga because I simply need more. Truly a special work. At last, we arrive at these awards' final section, genres. Here we lay out the best of the year across any number of categories, from action to thriller. Bear in mind, I limited each work to one genre, and in cases where that was less clear, I went with whatever allowed me to best reward the shows I felt deserved it. On that note, here are the awards for Best in Genre. The nominees for Best Action are My Hero Academia Season 3, Planet with ssss.gridman, Devilman Crybaby. And the winner is ssss.gridman. For Best Adventure Fantasy, the nominees are Hisone and Masotan, Attack on Titan Season 3, That Time I Was Reincarnated as a Slime, Sword Art Online Alternative Gun Gale Online. And the Violet Saber goes to Hisone and Masotan. In the category of Best Sci-Fi, the winner is Steins Gate Zero. For Best Thriller, the Violet Saber goes to Banana Fish. The nominees for Best Drama are After the Rain, Violet Evergarden, March Comes in Like a Lion Season 2, Rascal Does Not Always Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. And the winner is Violet Evergarden. The award for Best Coming of Age goes to A Place Further Than the Universe. For Best Romance, the nominees are Skilled Teaser Takagi-san, Wotakoi, Love is Hard for Otaku, Kase-san and Morning Glories, Bloom Into You. And the winner is Bloom Into You. The Violet Saber for Best Idol Show goes to, of course, Zombie Land Saga. The nominees for Best Comedy are Pop Team Epic, Hina Matsuri, Cells at Work, Skullface Bookseller Honda-san. And the winner is Hina Matsuri. In the category of Best Musical, the winner is Shoujo Kageki Revue Starlight. The award for Best Workplace Anime goes to Agretsuko. For Best Sports, the nominees are Megalobox, Uma Musume, Run with the Wind, Tsurune. And the winner, Megalobox. Next, the winner of Best Magical Girl Show goes to Hugto Precure. The nominees for Best Cute Girls Show are Anima Yell, Slow Start, Comic Girls, Miss Vampire Who Lives in My Neighborhood. And the winner is Comic Girls. Last, but certainly not least, in the category of Best Slice of Life, the nominees are Hakume and Mikochi, Yuru Camp, Mitsuboshi Colors, Today's Menu for the Emiya Family. And the Violet Saber goes to Yuru Camp. Finally, we reach the end of the road. Over 60 awards have been handed out tonight, but the biggest prize still remains. From hundreds of series, we narrowed it down to the 5 best each season had to offer. Some decisions were easier than others, but ultimately, we're left with 4 anime. Any of these series would make a worthy selection, but only one can be the winner. Here are the nominees for the UTS Awards Anime of the Year 2018. From the winter season, Violet Evergarden, Kyoto Animation. From the spring season, Megalobox, TMS Entertainment. From the summer season, Shoujo Kageki Revue Starlight, Kinema Citrus. From the fall season, Bloom Into You, Troika. Without further ado, it's my honor to present the Violet Saber for Anime of the Year to Shoujo Kageki Revue Starlight. It's been a long time since a seasonal anime excited me like Revue Starlight. From the moment Karen fell to the stage and we got that first transformation sequence, I was in love. This is what I love about anime. It's a rare feeling so few series have achieved, but Starlight put me in a trance and never let go. Its cast feels well realized, not necessarily by what we see on screen, but what we can surmise off it. The show gives you a sense of who they are as people, characters that exist beyond the page, filled with rich detail. Juna's burning desire to find her own star, Futaba's ambition to play more than the support, Nana's unwillingness to move forward, Claudine's chase to reach Maya, and Maya's responsibility to embody her summit. By the end, we have such a clear vision of why they yearn for the stage, what drives them, what they love, note each other, but more than anything, it's about breaking the cycle of the top star, that to find your radiance is to take it from others. In Karen's quest to fulfill her promise to share the stage, together with Hikari, we see what it truly means to shine. I can't sing its praises enough. Revue Starlight excels in nearly every category, made even more remarkable by its strenuous production behind the scenes. Barely watched by anyone outside my immediate bubble, and dismissed by most who did, Shoujo Kageki Revue Starlight made me feel an enthusiasm for the medium that's special, that I want to hold on to. All in all, 2018's top star. And with that, the curtain falls on the 4th Under the Scope Anime Awards. Stick through to the credits for the actual order of my overall top 10. Anime of the year really came down to Bloom and Starlight, but be sure to see how everything else shook out. I hope you enjoyed the show and didn't take what you saw here, or more aptly, didn't see, too personally. There's a lot of anime that comes out in a year, so naturally we're going to miss some. As I say every year, I don't want you to think of these awards as the definitive take on all 2018 had to offer, but rather a reflection on the year as a whole. The fun, gut-wrenching, and downright weird ride 2018 anime took us on. I hope you got as much out of watching these awards as Nice and I did making them. On that note, let's officially turn the page on 2018. Thanks for watching. Here's to an even stronger new year.